Hi everyone, welcome back to 5 Day Crypto. Where the heck have I been? Well, I've been around. I'm still alive. You can see this is not a ghost. I'm going to start off the video by saying I'm going to be more consistent in posting on YouTube. From here forward, at least for the foreseeable future, we're going to do a consistent schedule. So write it down if you need to. We're going to do Monday updates, so the beginning of your week, hopefully the beginning of your week. I know there's different people across all parts of the world, so that time can vary. But sometime on Monday, at least like Eastern time, sometime during Monday, New York time, you'll have a video on YouTube. And then also we're gonna do another one. We're gonna try to do 2 a week, so kind of updates until things pick up again. I'm still gonna be consistent on doing 2 a week, Mondays and Thursdays. So you can wake up on Monday and know that sometime and during that day, Chase is gonna put a video out if you care. Thursday, sometime when you wake up, Chase will put a video out, doing something, talking about something brief, long, whatever in between. So hopefully that helps some of you out there to get some more consistency in your YouTube life. You need. So we're gonna start this video off on Bitcoin. We'll do a couple alts if we have time, depending on how long I get. Try to keep these, relatively short, under 20 minutes. Sometimes maybe only a few minutes, sometimes 10. Try to keep them under 20 though, because I feel like majority of people just don't have more than that attention span, period. So let's get moving with Bitcoin having said that. So where are we? Well, after our move down here, are we done? Could we potentially at least have a relief rally? We'll look at both sides of it. We'll look at the kind of evidence for, against, what we could be looking at macro low as well. So let's get right to it. So far we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're working our 7th red weekly. This is the weekly chart, weekly Bitcoin red candle in a row. Have we ever had that before? The answer is no. Bitcoin has never had, as hard as that may be to believe, we've never closed 7 red weeks. That's pretty telling, right? Now, there's a first time for everything, sure. So could it happen? Of course. Anything is possible in Bitcoin or trading. Don't let anyone ever tell you anything different. There's nothing 100% in trading ever, right? So there's anybody that says a guarantee and something else is, as a damn fool, right? Mr. T, pity the fool. Don't pity that guy. So what do we have? Could we potentially see a local bottom sometime soon? Yes. Why? Why? Is that my opinion or is that the charts? Always the charts. Always the charts. Maybe a little bit of peppered opinion in there, but mostly just the charts. I don't know if you're from. Okay, we'll just stop it there. It's gonna go into a whole seasoning and pepper spice thing, but no. All right. So see what I'm drawing here. We're looking at potential, at least short-term bottom. Macro bottom, I'm not so sure, but short-term, I think we could see a bounce here in the next week or so, maybe even the next day or two, right? Maybe even right now. Maybe we're starting it now, right? What we want to look for is multiple, bites at the apple here. So we're looking at the kind of the weekly wick zone here, and we haven't seen this in quite some time. Give it last summer, right? We had our May drop almost to the day, right? We're about a week short, 51 weeks ago. We had this kind of, I'm sure most of you are familiar with that feeling still. And here we are again, fast forward. And if we don't have this type of volume, right? Here's the volume. And why do I have volume up? Volume's not really important unless you want to start or end a trend. Starting and ending trends, volume's important. Other than that, you can, continue trends without much volume at all. Just watching volume on the weekly, the daily, whatever chart you're looking for is important in starting and ending trends. That's about it. So you can see we don't really have that May volume just yet, right? Or, you can go back in history and look at any time else, right? The pandemic, right? Look at this volume. Look at that volume spike. I know it could probably be hard to see here, but right, pandemic drop, right? Here's the May drop, right? We haven't seen a massive spike, but what we have seen is just a massive amount of red volume for the past 7 weeks. So, maybe things don't often, we don't have to have this, is what I'm trying to say. A lot of people say we have to have this before we continue up. Well, yeah, we've had that in history. It doesn't mean you have to do that again, right? No 100s, no guarantees in crypto or trading. A stack of 7 reds or 8 reds or 9 reds or 10 weekly red candles might just be what the doctor ordered to end that trend, right? If we've never had 7 red weeks and all of a sudden you see 8 red weeks or 9 red weeks, okay, maybe you don't have to have this. Maybe that is the stand-in, the replacement, the pinch runner. I don't even know what I'm saying. You get the flow, right? All right, so that's, just keep that in mind, that just because 47 people are calling for massive zone and capitulation volume spike doesn't necessarily mean that that has to happen, right? There might, obviously we'd like to all see that, right? That'd be like ripping the bayonet off, sending us down to the 20s, whatever. We're going to talk about that. What's this line down here? That's the 200 week SMA, right? The 200 week. Often, the 2 data points in history that we've had, that's held, nicely as support. Hang on, let me put this on log. Jesus H. We're all in one cut here, folks. So you get the raw and the good, the bad, and mostly ugly. So, right, the 200 week, right, held back in January 28, or the 2018 kind of capitulation, right, held there, which I'm sure most of you are familiar with. Just recapping. We held again in the pandemic for the closes, right? We wick below it, but anytime we're down in here, that's the time to be coming back in a heavy way to the market. And there's no guarantees that we get down here. Remember that. There's no guarantees. We don't know if this is the final turnaround. We don't know if the low in June, that 28.8, is that the low. There's no guarantees that that's not, right? There's no guarantees that it is. But people arguing that we're definitely going lower than this are complete BSers. Don't be a BSer. Don't follow a BSer, right? You need to be looking at both sides of the chart as many ways as possible with as least amount of bias as possible. So another way that helps you do that is by inverting the chart. So let's flip it upside down and see what we got, right? This is, what do we got now? Now, if you're always thinking that you got to come back one way or another, flip it upside down. And how you do that, you'll go on your little keyboard, you take your little paw, and you hold Alt with whatever finger you want to use, and then you take another finger, preferably not the same one. I don't know how fat your fingers are. Alt and I. I'm sorry, go off on tangents. It's fun. Alt I, Alt I, Alt I. Why I? For inverse, you idiot. All right, so looking at this, right, could we potentially have a bottom, right? If you're going up in price, well, look at this, right? You would think maybe you're going to top out here again, right? Possibly. Could it go higher? Of course. Like, how much higher? Well, look, that would be probably a good place to hit your head on, right? So looking at this, it seems to me that we could potentially see a bounce back this way, this direction, in the not so distant future, right? You could kind of visualize that a little bit better, maybe this way, right? Something like that. And there's no guarantees where you're going back to, right? So let's flip it back to the upside. If we do get a bounce this week, which I still think the odds are we do more than don't. That's all we have in cryptos, the odds, right? Right? Why do I say that? Well, 1, we're in that zone, right? 2, we're outside the Bollinger Bands on the weekly, which last time we did it, right, was a pretty nice recovery to the upside. How nice. Well, we did go down another week after that, but from the bottom to the top, I mean, that is a pretty substantial rally. You don't really want to miss those, right? That's 40% to the upside. I mean, imagine whatever you have now increasing 40%, and not like you're going to time the exact tops and bottoms, but say you do 30% or 20%. Those are pretty good runs. So starting to dollar cost average back into the market when it's a possibility to start moving back to the upside, at least if only temporarily, you'd like to catch those moves. I mean, look down here, the May drop, right? And then we moved up from bottom to top, over 30%. So you take half of that, even if you don't time them correctly, right? 15% should be pretty doable, right? 10, 15%, and just trying to help those people that want to, try to play that area. If you're just in it for the long term, then you're not even watching anyway, probably. So you're crocheting with your grandma in your basement. God, that's a weird thing. But if we go to the upside, you want to be looking for previous support areas that were broken. Oh, yeah, and also the moving averages to the underside, right? So you can see that area from, like, let's say 36 to 37, maybe 38. That seems like a pretty logical area to me, right? So the 100 week right there at 36.8 will probably be a pretty good spot to start to take some profits back out if you're riding in, if you're buying in right now. We go up here over next week. That's a pretty good run. How big of a run? Well, roughly looking at 18-20% up to maybe even 20-25% to the upside. Could we go down? Of course, right? Of course. I'm just throwing this out there that there's potential in a lot of different time frames, a lot of different things that I've seen that say we might be due for a move back to the upside, whether or not that lasts for a week or 4 weeks in a row. You know, Also, remember, Bitcoin's never had 7 red weeks. So if it does end up doing that, then there's a lot of different things. But we're gonna do 2 updates a week, so we'll see you again Thursday to see how this played out. But I would say the odds are, and as of right now, that we're going to have some kind of a relief back to the upside. If that's only temporarily, and we go back down and we see 28K in a month from now, so be it. But I'm just throwing this out there today because I'm seeing a lot of evidence that we might be due for a move to the upside. Let's look at the daily just real quick. Right, look at all this volume. Look at us down. Not the volume, the amount of red candles, the volume of these candles, right? We're well outside the Bollinger Bands, and not that you can't stay out there for a long time, but again, invert this chart, right? Look at that. If this was a move to the upside, would you be buying in a lot here, or would you think about taking some profits, right? Flip it back. Are you going to be selling here, or are you thinking about taking some short profits? If you're shorting, great. If you're, it's not the time to be like liquidating, right? And just like this, it's not the time to be going all in here, right? You're breaking out. Maybe you're probably due for some kind of a pullback, if only temporarily. Like, look at this, right? 35K. If we come back to this level, be probably coincidentally right about the 8-day EMA, right? So look for underside tags of that. You can kind of start to put it together looking at multiple time frames, right? So just trying to help those that want to be helped. That's that. Some other coins that are looking very bottomishy. That's not a word. Luna taken a beating, right? So buying Luna in the 40s sounds like it's probably going to be paying off nice for you in the future. Whether or not we're at the macro bottom, whatever. I posted this on Twitter a couple hours ago. You're looking at this kind of support zones here, right? Look at this, right in there. Looking at between like 43 to 46, something like that, right? Your previous all-time highs back in here. You broke that, kind of retested before going into new all-time highs. Come back, retest that zone again. Multiple bites at the apple here. This yellow box is an apple. That's what that means. But this is, look at where we hit, right? Almost the exact to the dollar of the low on January, right? And we're back here again. So starting to come back in here, anywhere in the 40s. If we get a rally, if Bitcoin goes up 20%, Luna will likely bounce pretty hard here. Where's our next level? Well, you can look at on the weekly. You can look at, if it's not defined on the weekly, go to the daily, right? This is, the highest we probably go is, look at this level right here. If Luna gets crazy, we could be looking at, 70, 75 up in that area, right? For the daily, if you want to look at lower time frames and you just want to be more safe, look at that 60 level right there, right? Previous broken, support right there. Zoom it in. Now, there you go. So a rally up here, right to 60 from 40, 45, something like that. Even 50. Even if you're buying it at 50 and we start to rally up, that's a pretty good move. Even from where we are now, up to 60 is over 20%. I don't think that anyone would doubt that Luna could possibly do that, right? If you can do it to the downside, you can do it to the upside, right? Luna is one of the most bullish just from patterns. This before the downfall started, it was one of the strongest alts to be in. And it will likely continue that once Bitcoin turns bullish again. If Bitcoin has a nice recovery, I would expect Luna to do that, to follow suit. So 60, 70, looking at the daily chart, you got your 200 here. At 70, you got these previous local bottoms here. If you get more bullish, 77, right? Look at that bottom, look at that bottom, look at that bottom. And you can do this on all your alts, right? If you have a question, send me an alt, follow us on Telegram, right? If you're wondering where I've been, I still update daily in my Patreon/Telegram. So if you want more of that, just join us on there. But I've been doing daily updates on there. That's Luna, and I'm covering Luna because it's got hit the hardest today. But it's also been the most bullish previously this whole cycle, right? It looked the most bullish. Huge sell-off today. After a 30% sell-off in one day, those are usually good times to start stacking that coin again. So that's why I'm kind of mentioning it. Mana's kind of hit some good levels. Looking at the, put your coins, all your alts on a weekly chart. You don't need all this moving average. Just put your price on there. And if you want to get, if you can't spot the on the candles, like when we look for the weekly support here, right? You want to look for long-term support, the previous levels that have been hit. If I could find the right damn line, there you go. So there you go, right there. Previous local top, we've hit right here, and you might say, well, that's only one thing, and I would agree with you, but I mean, where else are you going to go? You've lost that point. You got your opener here, right? You could put the candles back on. Maybe you like candles better, right? Previous local top comes back way later, right? You're looking at August, September of last year, and fast forward, you're right at it again right now. So key level, right? You can see that key level. You can even drag this back over here. All the same level. When you have multiple touch points, weeks, months, years apart, usually times to start coming back into the market, right? When a coin's down, I dare I do this. We're down over 80%. When your coin's down 80%, those are times to maybe not go all in, but at least start reaccumulating here. Yeah, that's that. That's Mana in a nutshell. I can do some others. Leave me some comments for what you want to see next. Maybe I'll do Bitcoin kind of every video, kind of recap. It's the king. So, and then I'll pepper in. There's my spikes again. We'll pepper in a couple alts. The hot alts of the day, or the low alts of the day, right? Our Chainlink, we're still a fan of Chainlink. Chainlink will have its day. I'm still convicted on that, but right now it's just a better light than it is an asset. It'll come back. It's a 880. We can do a brief update if you're still here, and you're probably joined me from Blink, right? I talked about this in my last video, 9-10 days ago, of us coming down to this kind of key levels here, right? Looking at the previous, go back and watch my last video. I talked about this exact level of us potentially hitting 5 if it got real crazy, or the level that we're at right now, right? The level that we're at right now. This was also mentioned in my last video, around $8, this consolidation area right here. So could we bounce from here? Of course. If Bitcoin bounces, Link will bounce. Then watch for your underside tags of your moving averages. So first one, 1120, kind of right in there. The 200 week, then you got your 8 week. Well, right now it's at 1250. This is going to come down, week over week. Could probably be around that same level, right? If you get more bullish than that, bounce to the 21. You got your 100 week, right? If you want to, less time frames, go look at your daily. I mean, you can zoom this out on the daily too. You can see there's your previous all-time high. Came back, bust through, come back, retest, right? We're at a pretty nice level to start coming back in to be buying. Not just Link, not just Bitcoin, not just Luna. A lot of stuff here could be bouncing in the next couple days. So just remember this, and we'll talk again on Thursday, see how it worked out. But just, starting to come back in after your coin's down over 80%, which we don't even have to measure. We know Link's down more than that. So like I said, it's a better sign than it is an asset at this point. The sign still looks cool. The chart not so cool, but it'll have its time. We'll go parabolic to the upside again. New all-time highs are still coming, as hard as to believe. This top will be dwarfed by the next top. All that good stuff. But you know, just throwing this out there for now. Could potentially be at local bottoms, pretty much across the board. That's kind of what you want to look for. These big red days. That's kind of the moment you want to be waiting for. And people say buy the blood, buy the fear. It's not buy the blood and buy the fear until you have days like this. This is those days. This be them days. All right. So I didn't forget. We're gonna do car of the day and quote of the day. Car of the day. Anybody guess this? I know you probably think it's a G-Wagon, and it is. You're right. But it's a special one. Which one is this? This is from the factory. This lift and everything. Kudos to you if you got this. This is the G-Wagon Special Edition 4x4 squared. And it's raised like another 8 inches. It's got carbon fiber everywhere. They added another digit in the front of the price. It's like, I think it's like 300K now. It might be even more with the silly market. But this is not even the AMG version. If you're familiar with AMGs at all, or Mercedes at all, you know the AMGs are a little bit more. But this is just like the 550, but they do a lot of special stuff on this one, so it's kind of worth it, and it looks different. I mean, all this is factory from Benz, so pretty sick. Plus, it'll just roll right over you. You can this is like 2.5, 3 feet off the ground. These are huge. All this is 100% direct from Mercedes. No modifications, as crazy as that looks or sounds. But that's pretty cool. So that's your car of the day, the Mercedes G 4x4 squared. Quote of the day by Harry Truman. It's amazing what you can accomplish if you do not care who gets the credit. Almost everyone wants credit for stuff. Just do the damn thing and help someone. All right, that's it for this one. I broke my promise already. We're over 20 minutes, 22 minutes. I'll try to keep it a little bit shorter, sweeter. Next videos, I just haven't made one in a while, so I wanted to go a little bit more in depth. We'll do more. Let me know what else you want to see, whether it's altcoins or a different indicator or more, lower time frame charts, the 5-day Gaussian channel, all that good stuff I can cover. It's just going to take more time, but Mondays, Thursdays, be there or be squared.